4, 3, 2, 1. Oops. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to the Night's Watch. This is the inaugural show. Actually, it's sort of a test show, just to see if I want to change the format up at all or whatever. But this is just a few friends, some of us involved with the actual production of Game of Thrones artwork or related Song of Ice and Fire materials, and some of us just fans, like John Mann. But we're just gonna talk some talk some Thrones, talk some Song of Ice and Fire. So without further ado, let me introduce. Let me stop sharing this, and let me introduce to you Ben Avery, co-writer. No, adaptation writer.
Adaptation writer, yeah.
Adaptation writer. So co-writer with George R.R. Martin on the Night.
You'd be wrong, but you could say that.
Shut up, Ben. Let me pump you up. Hedge Knight, Sworn Sword, and The Mystery Knight, all books which I also illustrated. John Malin as Joffrey.
Hello.
No further explanation needed. John Malin, professional comic book artist of these many years. And Michael Champion, artist, also toy designer?
Yeah, concept artist, art director. Yeah, good enough.
Long-bearded fellow who likes to dress up in chainmail, and I don't know what he does when he's dressed like that. But Mike, don't you have some Game of Thrones related work in your retinue?
Yeah, I got to be in the got chosen to be in the Game of Thrones compendium. It was kind of like a all things fan art related. Chose an official HBO publication, came out a couple years ago. So
fantastic. I don't have anything officially HBO.
Tiny little part of.
And I am your host, Mike S. Miller. I have been involved with George in various and sundry Game of Thrones and Wild Cards related projects since 2002, I believe. Started with the Hedge Knight. I did one of the first, if not the first, officially licensed lithographs, which was Robert and Rhaegar and the Trident. Used to be the most well-known piece of Game of Thrones art out there, until this little company called HBO came and licensed it, and now it's everywhere. Worked on the doomed Testers line of figures. Testers were going to do all these little minifigures, and I had designed a whole bunch of the wildlings and some other characters, and somehow or another they screwed the pooch on that. What else have I done? I don't know, this, that, and the other. It's you know, once in a while he'll tap me for a project or another. And now currently, Game of Thrones related, I am doing all of the covers for all of the issues of all of the books coming out through Dynamite and Random House. So
one.
You what?
I guest starred on one as a corpse.
Oh, that's right. You may notice Michael's fallen head.
My beard.
And his beard on the cover with Arya and Gendry, and who was with them? Hot Pie? No, somebody like escaping from their captors. So yeah, true. John.
Yes, sir.
Big fan of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, the show, the TV show. I think I told you before, I listened to one of the audiobooks, but there was an awkward moment where the narrator, a very deep voiced man, started to narrate a sexual encounter with Jon Snow. And since my name is also John, when it was playing in my office, I thought that I might creep out my wife, and I stopped. It was with the red-haired chick, and she's like, "Oh, John," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't need that going on." So, just the show.
Just the show. Just the facts, man. All right, let me see if I can grab the chat so that have Ben and Mike, you've never done like a hangout before, huh?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
They're really fun because you get to interact in real time with the chat, with the fans that are watching. And so if you have it, open in another window. If you go to my page on YouTube, which is Blacklist Universe, and open it up, you can read the chats. If someone's asking you a question in directly, you can answer it.
And mute the tab.
Yep, I just did that.
Yes, that's what I just did. I'm on a very slow computer, so forgive me. And we've got a small audience right now. That's fine, because Ethan started up his show at the same time.
Damn it.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, this is more of a test. This is more of a test run, anyways. I'm not sure what nights I'd like to do this. I actually want to get some more people in here. I'd like to have maybe 5 or 6 at some point and just shoot the crap about this here topic. Sorry. And that's the problem with me is I'll start talking and then I'll start reading the chats while I'm talking and then my brain will just turn to mush. Why not 10 people? Red Team Review says because when you have 10 people, it's hard to get a word in edgewise, and then the loudest people in the room suck up all the oxygen, and then you're just sitting there watching it, and at that point, you might as well just be in the audience. John Dillard gaming the system for $2. Finally, a place to hang out without Doug. And that's another reason. No, just kidding. Ben, you know Doug TenNapel?
Do I know him? I know of him for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, I've never met him. Would love to meet him.
well,
He's not that great.
he's been in our other group hangouts and stuff. So yeah, Mike is talking about Doug. 5 or 6 packs.
For anyone that doesn't know, Doug TenNapel is the creator of Earthworm Jim, and he's been renamed Dirty Doug, Dirtworm Doug, because he doesn't wash his hands except at home.
It's disgusting.
Beware.
So let's see. Let's start with Ben. Ben, when's the last time you talked to George?
I want to say 18 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
In regard to what?
Well, he contacted me about Game of Thrones comic. They were moving between books, so maybe even been longer than that, and they needed a new writer, and I was just one of the guys to contact, I guess. But
you didn't want to do it?
No, I couldn't do it. Yeah.
I couldn't do it either. I could only do the covers.
There's times now when I'm looking at, cars breaking down and other various things. I'm thinking, boy, I wish I had done that, but yeah. So,
but isn't it nice that George just like taps us on the shoulder?
It was.
Right.
It just at the time I was working on my other New York Times bestselling author book, God's Bible. So, yeah, I had to choose between the two, and that's the one I went with.
2 books at a time?
What?
You can't write 2 books at a time?
I also had a full-time 45-hour-a-week job.
Bah!
Yeah. See, you got to balance your time. So
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I was always under the impression that when George tapped somebody on the shoulder, that meant your days were numbered.
Those are just his fictional friends.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yes. First lesson learned. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't read or watched this show, who must be nobody. Don't have any favorites. Don't fall in love with any of the characters.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is of course my thing is Hedge Knight. Dunk, Egg. I mean, they are very special to me. Very, and so it's a prequel, so their future's already been written. So
I devoted all my time and energy into Team Joffrey, and yeah, they let me down too. And but I'm a firm believer that it's a long con, and he will come back in the last season to rightfully regain his throne after all of his enemies are conquered.
Yes, they will call him the Purple King.
Why? What's the Purple King?
You don't remember when he was poisoned? He like turned purple.
Oh, that was a fake out. It's the long con. Like, he's gonna come back. He's gonna look fine.
Oh, okay. I see. Sierra Whiskey asks, we have seen Ben Avery on some familiar projects. His name sounds real familiar. I have brought up Ben as the co-writer for God's Sword, which I hope to see some movement on, but apparently he's been busy.
Movement from me?
Or Paolo. Either of you, both of you. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, there's movement. I did ask you for a deadline.
Oh,
I never heard back.
How's tomorrow work for you?
Tomorrow won't work well. I'm probably a little over halfway through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, no, I've been working on that. That's my. I don't have any other writing jobs right now, so like I can jump on this quickly.
Nice.
So I have been. Lunch breaks and evenings.
Right on. Cool. Can't wait to see something. So yeah, since Ben and I are so intimately, Mike's dressing up.
Well, please continue. I'm just getting in the mood.
All right. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Hedge Knight? Yeah. Jojo said yeah. Yeah, I think that's what at least Ben and I are most intimately familiar with. How about you, Mike? You pay a lot of attention to the Hedge Knight stuff?
I love the Hedge Knight. That was how I became a fan of you.
Yeah?
Yeah, and that was how we eventually met, because we ended up being at the same convention together, and I was like, hey, that's that guy that draws a Hedge Knight, and I love the way he draws chainmail. He knows how to draw chainmail, and so...
Mike, can you back up and do this?
Can I back up and do what?
Tap your head like this.
Oh.
No. Never mind. You don't get the joke.
I couldn't see you.
Yeah, there you go.
The Holy Grail, is that what you're going for?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Exactly. I don't know. Any good? I don't know. This is hard. This is why this is like sort of.
Maybe you guys should explain who the Hedge Knight is for people like me that are not overly familiar with him.
All right, I'll let Ben do that.
Sure. The Hedge Knight is the, I like to call it the Hobbit of the Song of Ice and Fire, where it just takes place 100 years before Song of Ice and Fire, and it's following Sir Duncan and his squire Egg. And if you haven't read it, I'm not going to say much more than that, because there's actually kind of a neat little twist and a turnaround when you learn who Egg is and why he's doing what he's doing. But basically, they roam the land, and it'd make a great 70s primetime drama as they roam the land from place to place and have their adventure and leave by the end. And you can hear the piano playing in the background as the credits roll, as they're walking away from wherever they've been. And something's gone horribly wrong, because
yeah,
it's not as neat and tidy as like a 70s drama, but
No, and what's really fun about it is, it really interweaves. I have some different printings there. Like the Mystery Knight is the most recent one that we did. This is the Sworn Sword. This is the second in the series. This is the Marvel printing. This is the Marvel hardback of the original, the Hedge Knight. I did that logo. Pretty cool. And then this is the Jet City, most recent publication versions of Hedge Knight and Sworn Sword, available on Amazon. I do get royalties. What's really cool about them is you get these characters and this history of a Game of Thrones with characters like one of the characters. Actually, two of the characters are in. I mean, it's 100 years later, but two of the characters. Oh, actually, wait. No, one of the characters. The other one is mentioned.
Right. That's why I didn't want to say too much, though, because once you find out who one of the characters is, what the relation is to things that are going on in the books, the Song of Ice and Fire books, it's cool to discover. It's cool to find out and figure out.
And then you discover someone in a Game of Thrones is the descendant of one of the other characters. Yeah. And then you have like the originations of different houses, like the Green Apple Fossaways. You know, it's like that these little moments in time that have these repercussions that do bleed into a Game of Thrones, but all in a historical context from the perspective of Game of Thrones. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, and the other cool thing about it, though, is if you don't know anything about Game of Thrones, you don't have to. They're pretty standalone. In fact, each volume is standalone. So each one of the stories can be read by itself, but then you read them together and you're following, like I said, the adventures, the journeys of Sir Duncan as he really figures out what life is like. And and
he's the true hero.
Growing in wisdom.
He's the rare true knight.
Yeah.
Who abides his vows in a world full of false knights who just take advantage of their position. You know?
Yeah.
So was Hedge Knight, was that prominent in the actual books, or was this something that George Martin was doing as like a side story that adds in, or what?
Yeah, they were novellas that he wrote for anthologies, and they, at least the first two were, and then but he's got a bunch planned out, and yeah, it's something he originally wrote, and then we took that and adapted the script out of it, and then Mike took it and ran with it with the artwork, and
yeah, and unfortunately, you know how they're doing like 5 different prequel stories on HBO? Did you know that, John?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're going to start production in January on the first one.
You know, it's not one of them, though.
That's the thing.
Oh, go ahead.
George loves the Hedge Knight, Dunk and Egg, so much. He refuses to let them use that because he hasn't finished that story. Right? He has other stories he wants to write for Dunk and Egg, and he doesn't want to get back into the same scenario he was with Game of Thrones, where, you know, he writes the first 3/4 of it and then they finish the rest off of footnotes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's happening with Game of Thrones, right?
That's what's happening with Game of Thrones, and that's why he doesn't want them to have the rights to do the Hedge Knight. And yes, Michael, I saw your expression and I agree.
I've been waiting to see Dunk and Egg live action.
I know.
Yeah. I'll keep waiting.
Well, let's hope George starts having salads.
Michael, does that chainmail pull on your beard?
No, it does not.
Okay.
It's actually, my beard is quite sturdy, and I have a little girl, and so I've gotten used to her tugging on it. So, it's from the jowls down, I'm pretty much numb. So yeah, all good.
So if you have a weaker beard, like mine might be weaker, then I probably wouldn't be very comfortable in that in the long term.
Way back when I had a baby beard and it was just growing in, it would any little tug or pull, I would wince like a little girl.
Yeah. Right.
You have to toughen up. So
yeah.
Champ, Dennis chat would like to know if you have the Holy Grail.
Around here somewhere, along with the Spear of Destiny.
May we see it?
Well, if I show it to you, then you know where it's kept, and I'm going to have to, you know.
Well, you're really bad at Holy Grail references.
I am. It's good. Listen, I saw the Holy Grail back in the early 80s, and I don't think I've seen it since.
Seriously?
Shame on me.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Hey, Mike.
Hello, Yellow Flash. Welcome to the Night's Watch.
Yeah, I saw the topic and had to come in because this sounds much more fun.
So I'm the Lord Commander. Ben is the Meister. Mike is the man at arms.
Holy crap! This dude is all in cosplay.
It's reenactment, damn it.
That's what he draws.
And hey, Mike, in future episodes, you're just working this out still, right?
Yeah.
In future episodes, my wife would love to come on because she's a huge, humongous Game of Thrones fan.
Bring her on. Bring her on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work out. We'll have to work out how it works. She's read all the books and stuff, man. She's big time. Big time.
Right on, man. That's his normal look, yellow flash. Yes, that's what Mike actually. This is Michael Bishop. Not Michael Bishop. Michael Champion. Sorry, Michael Bishop's a different friend of mine. He draws like that.
Yeah, so that's actually true. There have been times where I've needed like a quick reference, and I've thrown some chainmail on or a helmet and taken a picture with my camera on my computer and got to drawing. And a couple hours later, it's like, why is my neck hurting? Oh, because I've still got everything on and I'm leaning forward.
Is that John Malin?
No.
That is John Malin. It's Joffrey Malin.
John, you like Game of Thrones? I never would have never have known.
Yeah, I'm Team Joffrey, man. This is my
Joffrey's
cosplay.
dead, dude.
No, he's not. I've already explained it. It's a long con.
I think the only one that's come back from the dead is Catherine Stark.
Catelyn.
Oh, Catelyn. Yeah. She's been dead for so long in the show.
I know. I was so bummed.
You think they'll bring her back in the show? I wish they would, man.
No. Wait, the moment is past.
Yeah, it kind of has.
And, I think they brought her back. I think George brought her back in the books as sort of a setup for being able to bring people back,
like Joffrey.
And for John, that's the only way John could get out of his oath, his vow. He would never have broken his vow on purpose. Egret and Egret notwithstanding, he was told to play the part, so he was playing a spy. That's the only reason he broke his vows. But he was very much just like Ned. He would not have broken that vow.
Here's what I got out of it because he died. Do you think that he didn't like John as much from the beginning, but kind of started to like him more and wanted to make him a more essential character as the story developed, so he found a way to get him out of that oath? Or do you think
George?
Do you think that was the plan all along?
I think John is the ice in the Song of Ice and Fire. I think that John and Dany has been the setup from the beginning. I don't know if that means they're both going to make it to the end. George has said that the ending of Game of Thrones is going to be bittersweet. So what's the bitter? What's the sweet?
The theory would be then that he needs to make what's the name of the magical sword that he needs to make? So he needs to kill. He needs to kill Daenerys and make that sword, right? Isn't that the prophecy?
Well, yeah, that's what Azor Ahai did in the original legend, but I'm not sure. I don't know. It's like when they say the prophecy of the prince who was promised. They reveal that in High Valyrian that word prince is not gender specific. That kind of ways of weaseling around prophecies that seem so specific seems like
so you're saying Daenerys could be the one to kill John? Okay, I see what you're saying.
Well, someone may kill someone, but hey, you know what? People don't always stay dead.
Well, what do you think about Tyrion, man? Tyrion is being set up to be the villain from that cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, because I mean.
He was kind of looking a little cuckish.
He looked very disapprovingly on what he was seeing with the two of them hooking up. I think he saw it as like too much of a consolidation of power in one place. Yeah.
If that's what
Well,
you call listening to
that's not
people
what
have
I got.
sex outside of their bedroom door.
Yeah.
Provided that Joffrey does not return, Tyrion is my fallback for who will be the king at the end. It'll be Tyrion if Joffrey doesn't come back.
Are you the wild
Laying
card,
odds.
John?
John is the court jester. Hope fire for $2.
I'm the straw that stirs the drink.
And the guy who drinks it. I thought that Tyrion, the look on Tyrion's face was one of more like, crap. Right? And you realize that he had just somehow or another convinced his psychotic sister to agree to send her army when she was so adamantly not going to. So my postulation would be that he made a promise to end one of those people before the time came that they would meet face to face again. And then seeing them finally get together, that was just a heavier weight on his heart. But, we have a lot of situations in Game of Thrones where people are willing to do terrible things for the greater good. So, I don't know. That's what I got when I was watching that last scene in the last episode. Hope Fire, $2. Read it. I did read it. They were just talking over me. Starfire is the best Titan. So, guys, so you don't know, that the new guys here that don't know, in the chat, when you see one of these highlighted things with money, that means somebody's paying me money to read what they're saying. It's called a super chat.
I miss it. I won't have them again till November.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Oh, I thought
Why?
you knew. Yeah. Well, because we were doing so me and Umbrella Guy had a lot of fun doing these Mystery Science Theater type streams where we make fun of old movies. And I had like 10 people tell me Godzilla versus King Kong was public domain. So I used it, and we got smacked down with copyright on that. So can't stream till for like 90 days from the day. So I can't blame myself for being stupid and not checking and making sure. So it's no big deal, man. I've accepted it. I'll get it back in November. So
Ben, you look like you're reading something.
I'm trying to read the chat. I'm also trying to figure out how how to get the window bigger, because right now I just have the sliver. I can see 2 lines of the chat at a time.
You see the 3 little dots in the right-hand corner?
Yeah.
Click on that.
Oh, pop out chat. Hey, perfect.
Okay.
Well, look at that. Now I can see the whole thing.
Oh, thank you.
Excellent.
Welcome to the future, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my goodness.
It's all Titans talk.
Yeah,
That's
because Pope Fire likes to override the chat with talking about Starfire. She's the world's biggest Starfire fan. Mike crashed. I didn't crash. What are you talking about? So, what do you guys think? You think I'm off kilter, or just?
Man, I don't know. I think there's so many different ways to read that. I think that was kind of the beauty of the way they filmed that and edited it and put it together. Was obviously the producers they know the motivation behind Tyrion's look there. They know what's in his head. They presented it to us in such a way that that's the big cliffhanger. It left us guessing: is Tyrion, is he now scared? Is he going to betray him? It's part of the beauty of this, of what they're doing with this show, with presenting us these things that these lingering questions that want us coming back. Regardless of how long the wait is, that's one of the things that brings us back. Now everybody's got to see what Tyrion's. What's he going to do? Is he going to stay loyal to Jon and Dany? Is he going to flip back to his family to try to, he still loves his brother.
His brother's all in on the alliance.
Yeah,
but
he kind of had a good hero's redemption, I think. Other than in
gonna
the
use
show
those-
where he had that weird like rape Daenerys or raped Cersei moment. That was a strange moment where he like banged her in front of the dead body of Joffrey. Like that was really out of character there. I was like, what are you doing, man? Like he had a great arc where he came back and was like redeemed as a good dude, and then he just like he just rapes her in front of Joffrey. I guess that wasn't in the book. My wife's a big prude with the books. Like she's real stickler. And she said that did not happen. She's very adamant that that did not happen in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the part where she's crowned and she sits on the throne and he's up in the gallery looking down, he's got this look of disapproval almost on his face. He knows her having that much power is not a good thing for anybody in the Seven Kingdoms. I still think he's conflicted with his honest love for her, but also a sense that at some point she's going to do something that's going to be really bad again, and I think he's going to be the one that takes her down. I firmly believe that.
That Jaime or Tyrion is gonna.
Jaime is.
Yeah, I think that's a good. I think that's a good theory. Actually, I think Jaime will be the guy to kill her.
Yeah, that's kind of like his final redemption is stopping, the Wicked Witch of the West, Doros.
Right before Tyrion.
So you believe?
Right before
According to there's a prophecy with Tyrion that he's going to be kind of the big bad and like ride a dragon and smolder and ruin stuff. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Valonqar?
He's going to be the big final bad guy. And that's like when I saw that scene with him kind of like lingering around the door, cucking when Jon was banging his aunt. when that was going down, I kind of thought, well, maybe he is going to be the big bad.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, if it's not Joffrey, it's Tyrion. Tyrion's going to win.
Tyrion's playing 4D chess, my friend.
Yeah, he's going to use everybody to kill everybody else, and then he's going to sit up there on a throne, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, we thought he was so sympathetic because he's small."
Well,
the pen before the sword, my friends.
I've been believing for a while now that we keep driving the point home so much, the phrase "all men must die." I think that in this show we're going to see the death of everybody, because everybody dies. Every character in every book you've ever read dies at some point. We just don't necessarily see it in every story. I think Game of Thrones is going to show us the death of every one of our main characters. And I think, Jon and Dany have a kid and they're going to die, and Tyrion's going to be the ward until they are old enough to take the throne, and then we'll see Tyrion die. And that's my extrapolating everything to the ultimate dark conclusion is all men must die. We're going to see everybody die in this show.
Would you think that's a bittersweet ending?
I do think it is.
That's what he's quoted as saying, is the ending is bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned that, I think, before you get on here. So the prophecy of the Valonqar, is that what you're talking about? When is it Mag the Frog?
Yeah.
I think that might be your tells the prophecy to Cersei.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can remember it correctly, it's her children will be crowned in gold, and gold will be their crowns, gold will be their shrouds, and she will drown in tears with the hands of the Valonqar wrapped around her neck, or something like that.
Yeah, but again,
if anyone remembers,
is that a literal translation that his hands are going to be around her neck, or the machination?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that not everything is always literal, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a dream, I think, or a vision that Cersei has of the Valonqar's mismatched eyes looking at her, and obviously, who has mismatched eyes is Tyrion. But I don't know if that's actual prophecy or that's just her having a nightmare or what. I don't remember. But there's another theory that it's actually Euron Greyjoy Because Valonqar just means younger
Ridiculous.
brother, possibly. Huh?
Ridiculous.
Well, that's Theon.
No. That's Theon. That's Theon. Euron's the psychotic uncle.
Oh,
Right, the one that's in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because the hint is that you will drown in tears, is like, he proclaims himself to be the drowned god. And then I don't know if he's got. Oh yeah, he's got, actually in the book he has one eye missing, so that could be mismatched. And he is a younger sibling to the former king. What was the former king? Theon's dad. Whatever.
Yeah.
Greyjoy. Daddy Greyjoy.
Balon Greyjoy.
Balon. So, if you take it more, the hands wrapped around your throat as more of a symbolic thing, imagine Cersei, after being, dispatched by all the great armies and all that stuff, rather than being executed by someone, she is forced to marry Balon and become a salt wife.
Well, wasn't that
it could be?
Wasn't that the agreement that was made with him? He said, "I will, take my navies forth and crush your enemies at sea, and in return for that, I'll return and you'll take me as or I'll take you as my wife, or you'll take me as your consort."
Right. But his idea would have been to reign in the Red Keep. Right. But imagine, rather than that, Cersei has to marry him due to that obligation and becomes a salt wife on the Iron Islands.
Beautiful.
It'd be like taking someone from Beverly Hills and like chaining him up on a that island in what's that? Yeah. Well, I was thinking of the island on Papillon.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They're remaking that Papillon.
Yes, and they have my attention. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm interested. So, I don't know. That's the theory I've been kind of tickling with lately. Anyone else?
I hadn't thought about that.
I think that would be a big out of left field if it's Euron Greyjoy. It is for real, but that'd be a big out of left field. I could see it because he likes pissing me up. He likes pissing people off. I do believe that. I think he does, except for Tyrion has made it all the way through. I think he likes Tyrion. Jon,
yeah, but
I think Jon is predictably probably going to have a bittersweet ending for sure.
George put Tyrion through an entire world of hurt, though. That cut off half his nose.
In the book he did. He looks so much better in the show compared to the book.
Oh yeah, it's funny. Before he gets his nose cut off in the book, before that he's described as like the ugliest dwarf ever. And who do they get? Peter Dinklage.
Who looks ridiculously handsomer than all of us put together.
Let me hold on a second.
Look, you put all us together, it's not going to look good.
Yeah, okay. Bad analogy there.
It's more like Robert on a bad day. So Ben, have you been hounding any theories lately, or?
Well, no.
You just.
I mean, it's been years since I've read the books, and I don't have HBO. I haven't watched the show at all.
Oh.
So, told you I could talk Hedge Knight like all day long, but it's only 3 novellas.
Yeah, you can, but you don't want to discuss them because you don't want people.
There's the things I really like about Hedge Knight. I don't want to reveal to people who haven't read it because,
right?
It's just I love it. Yeah.
I asked my wife about your theory, Mike, and she said, "Oh no, he's a bitch, gonna die a tragic death." That's what she said.
Yeah, ask her about mine.
She would laugh at it probably. She's very serious about Game of Thrones, man. Very serious.
Just remember, hashtag Malin was right.
Malin was right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Common.
They that is the whole thing about George, though. It's like you don't, whatever you expect to happen, 99% of the time it won't happen. So all of these people with all of their theories and expectations, you know.
Well, sometimes they're right though. They were right about the whole John thing. That was a theory for a long time.
It was a theory.
Totally confirmed.
But even still, the ending of the TV show is not going to be the same as the book, right? Because they're not going to spoil his actual ending.
Well, the outline of what's going to happen is what's going to happen in the books. So I mean, John being the son,
person on the throne.
Well, John being the son, like John being a Targaryen and all that stuff. That is how it's going to go.
I'm talking about who's going to win at the end, though.
Yeah, that'll be the same in the outline. You know, an outline, man. You're a writer, right? Like, so the outline is going to be the same. I mean, maybe some pieces in the middle of the chunk is going to be a little different, but
I doubt it. I doubt he's going to let them spoil his unreleased book, so HBO can have that win.
I think. I think Robert Kirkman was pissed because he did do that. That was like a big stink for a little minute. Like Kirkman was out saying it shouldn't be the same as the ending. Blah blah blah. George
it's not going to be
people off, and
it's not going to be the same.
Well, I hope it is because he's like 80 years old, and I'd like to know how it ends.
Like
May not
60
happen.
years.
Is he 60?
Yeah.
Woo.
I honestly would be surprised if he didn't finish the series. I think if he didn't finish writing the books, I think it's kind of a no-win scenario at this point. Regardless of how he finishes a story, there's going to be a huge segment of the fan base that's not going to be happy. Either it's going to be the same as a TV show or huge close to it, and people are going to be unhappy because it's not different, or it's going to be different and people who are fans of the show are going to be upset because it is different. Quite honestly, if he took his money and went off and kept writing the Hedge Knight forever, I think I'm kind of okay with that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of at a point where whatever George does, I'm okay with. Because
you know, one thing I'll give George, like he, I guess according to my wife, like she's the fanatic that tells me this stuff, is he's had offers before for money, like for movies and stuff. He turns them all down because of the integrity. Like he wants them to be good and all this stuff. Like I guess he's had tons of offers for like movies and all of this stuff, and he turned it down so he could have some creative control over the HBO show and stuff. Like I think he's generally pretty happy with the amount of money he has, which is pretty cool. Like, I think that's pretty, and I like his attitude a lot. If you've seen this, so my concern over his health, somebody asked him in an interview question, like, what do you have to say that people are going to like die before you do it? And he's like, fuck you, and gives him the finger.
Now, is the book that he's writing, is that going to be the last one? Is that going to end up with the
No, there should be two more.
No.
Oh, yeah. So
Winds of Winter.
Last one.
Is it a Song of Spring? Is that what it is?
Hey, Morgan.
Something like that.
Yeah. Is it 2 or 3 more?
No, it's Winds of Winter, and then I think a Song of Spring.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's totally not going to be the same. I guarantee it. I'll put money on it that
Whoa, what?
He may not.
Ideas of Ice and Fire. Ideas, dude. You want to get in here? Find me. I'll find you a way to get in here. Winds of Winter and a Dream of Spring. A Dream of Spring. Right. Thank you. Ideas of Ice and Fire is a big Game of Thrones channel.
Wait,
I'd love to get him in here.
2 more books past the one that he's doing right now?
Yes. No. The one he's doing right now is Winds of Winter.
Okay, and so 1 more book, and that's it.
Yeah, there'll be 2 final
One more book.
Yeah, yeah. He might write a outline for that and have somebody else finish it. Should he pass away? But I still.
He's been pretty clear that no one else is to finish it. I think.
Yeah, he's told me that in person. He's got it in his living will that if he dies, no one is allowed to finish these books.
Wow.
It's
You know,
probably going to
that's kind of cool. I respect integrity.
an awful lot of fan fiction. Shoot, ideas. Dude,
So the show
here,
is.
are you on Twitter?
It's our only just in case.
Hold on. You guys chat for a minute. I'm going to try to get a hold of ideas here.
Yeah, the show is our just in case.
Yeah, I think that's probably a little bit more hype. I think that he's intelligent enough to know that he'll write a good enough outline and make sure that audiences are going to have a finished product if anything happens to him. I think he's saying one thing publicly, but I almost guarantee the truth is going to be different.
I think from what I've read about the man, I don't think he really cares, John.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think he really cares, man.
We'll see.
Mike, you've met the man. What do you think?
I'm sorry. Think about what?
John thinks that he's going to release it anyway, and it's all hype. And I said that I really don't think he cares.
I think
Flash,
he does
Yo
care.
Flash is saying even if he dies, it won't be released. I say it will, and it'll use a ghostwriter if they need to, or even just another fill-in. He'll put in a fill-in, regardless of what he says. That's what I'm saying.
No. I think if he's got it like literally in his living will that he doesn't want anybody finishing his freaking story except himself, that's it.
Yeah,
I think that's yeah, that's why he tells people in private at breakfast. Thinking out the world. Yeah. Just like Joffrey.
Long
hey,
time.
Ideas. I'm Abacus Mike on Twitter. I'll send you a link.
I think you're wrong, John.
Yeah,
you're wrong, wild card. Keep thinking. You're literally the guy that has the worst theory here.
I think it's the best.
Here's like wild card Malin.
You guys are going to be shedding tears when Tyrion is up on that throne, and the last bit of the scene is the camera.
You literally picked a troll picture to be in the chat.
It'll be a slow pan on Tyrion as a grin just starts going across his face, and then cut to black. That's how Game of Thrones is going to end.
You want to take bets on that, or
I'm betting with you,
dude? I would never take bets on anything.
You want to take a bet on that, John?
Yeah, I want to take a bet with an anonymous avatar.
Hey, look, man, we can settle it out in DMs. 1K. You're wrong.
I would only put a bet if you're going to put a bet on what your explanation is going to be, and it's going to have to hit too.
I wanted to put my explanation on your bet. 1K.
Huh?
$1,000. You're wrong.
No way, because the odds on that are crazy. I'm not going to put $1,000 on it. You're nuts.
Well, you don't believe in it that well.
What if you only have to pay him $100? No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, you're going to pay me 10 grand if you're wrong, or
yes,
100 grand
if you're right. If you're right, and Joffrey resurrects,
all right, give me 101 odds.
I'll give you $10,000.
I'll put 1,000 down for 100,000 in return.
That'll work. No, 10 grand.
No,
100,000. I can't pay that back. 10.
100 to 1 odd. 100 to 1 odd.
$1,000, man. That's a good deal.
100 to 1 odd.
Get out of here.
No,
I'm not doing 100,000. 10,000. I'll do. I'm not doing 100,000.
You don't believe in it that much, do you?
Guys,
you had to pay 1,000.
Welcome, Ideas. What do you want us to call you, Ideas? You hooked up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
He's too cool to answer that question.
Oh, he's muted. He's muted. This guy has like 100,000 subs on his Game of Thrones page, so pretty cool having him come in here.
Oh, big time.
Good. I want to hear his comments on Tyrion as king.
I want to hear his comments on Joffrey coming back from the dead and being the clutch winner.
I wonder if there's like a legitimate pool in Vegas.
I bet.
Like for who wins.
That's supposed to finally come out this summer, right? The release date for the final season, is it this summer?
What are we talking about?
I just read an article today. They said it probably won't start or probably won't come out until late summer, but they don't have a solid date yet. Ideas. How do you by what name would you like to be called on the show?
You can call me Quinn or Ideas. Doesn't matter.
Quinn.
Yeah.
Quinn it is.
But you have a YouTube
Quinn?
channel with 100K subs or a blog with 100K followers?
I have a YouTube channel.
With 100,000 people?
Yes.
Oh, my man. Good job.
Ideas of Ice and Fire.
Yeah. Oh, Ice and Fire Ideas. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. So you're like, your specialty is Game of Thrones.
Well, I cover a lot of different books. I talk about Game of Thrones and the A Song of... I'm more of an expert on the A Song of Ice and Fire books, more so than the TV show.
Yeah, we got to get my wife on here. She would love this shit, man.
Yeah.
How long you been listening?
Just a few minutes. Like I just saw like someone tag me on Twitter, and I like to watch people's streams sometimes when they relate to like A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones. Just came on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I like your enterprise in the background, man.
Huh?
I said I like your enterprise in the background.
Oh, thank you. That was a gift. Yeah.
That's the D, right? Is that D?
Yeah, that's the Enterprise D.
Okay, cool.
TNG ship.
Nice, man. Nice, my friend. I like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I like the
let's get to the nitty gritty. About this Tyrion theory of mine.
Okay, what's the Tyrion theory?
He will be the last one on the throne.
That's not the whole theory, John. Don't lie.
Or Joffrey.
Yeah, he thinks Joffrey's going to come back and be the clutch winner.
Long con.
No.
Yes.
I don't think Joffrey's coming back, but I don't think Tyrion's ruling either.
Excellent. So when you guys are all wrong, I am going to be crowned as the king of Game of Thrones.
What do you think about Tyrion being like jealous, like a jealous cuck? Like, do you think he's like seriously in love with Dany? And like, because that in the last season, he had the look of like, I was trying to pound on that.
Yeah. I was questioning that like look as well. But then some people like in the comments when I did my review of that episode, they were saying that maybe he was just worried about the potential influence that Jon Snow would have on Daenerys. But yeah, I was wondering about that look too, because to me, throughout the season, it didn't seem like Tyrion was falling in love with Daenerys. Like to me, I was just like, "What is this a thing?" To me, I don't know.
I think he honest to God respects her, and because when she makes him hit her hand of the queen, and he willingly takes a knee to her, I believe that's the first time he has ever willingly bowed to anybody out of respect in the whole series. So I think he respects her and everything.
I think she's the hope of a ruler that he's always had, that he hasn't seen. He liked Robert as a person, but thought he was an oaf as a king. Obviously Cersei's just a wretch of a queen.
But he knows Jon.
And before that, you had King Aerys. So he's never known a ruler with magnanimous grace of and honest strength that Daenerys does. So I think he has all of his hopes in her, which is why I don't think. See, my Quinn, since you weren't here, my theory on this is that he made a deal with the devil with Cersei in order to get her to commit her troops, which obviously she reneged on, but he didn't know that. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that he made a deal, since he had the least connection to Jon, and he does respect Dany, that he was probably made a deal to kill Jon at an opportune moment and seeing Dany find that happiness with him at last, that broke his heart even more. And that's what I thought the look on his face was.
Whoa. See, I don't know if Tyrion would do that though.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a pretty honorable dude.
Well,
I've always
he is, but that's a.
And they have that.
I was going to say that's
what I'm saying. I was going to say, like, with the look on his face, like, it didn't make sense because he knows Jon, like, him and Jon are. I mean, they have the whole, like, march and bond towards the wall.
Yeah, that was, you know, they're boys and all that stuff. But there is a consistent theme in Game of Thrones where characters of good conscience will do something bad for the greater good, and getting all of Westeros to march to fight this army of the undead is like, you know, what was it? Stannis said to the Onion Knight, you know, what is the value of one boy against an entire kingdom? You know,
but
when he was gonna sacrifice Gendry.
But Davos's response was great though. Davos, do you remember Davos's response? Everything. So I mean, but
I know, but Stannis is an honorable man too.
I mean, Stannis isn't that honorable. Stannis burned his daughter alive.
Yeah,
I know, but
and killed his own brother.
He's doing jacked up things for the greater good. Okay, the killing it. He did. Yeah. Okay, the killing his brother. You got me.
Stannis. We need to lose his idea that Stannis is doing anything for the greater good. Stannis is doing it.
He wanted power. He wanted the power.
He should be king. He thinks that he has the right to be king. And then you have Melisandre whispering in his ear. For some reason, she thinks that he is Azor Ahai, which I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, he's not doing this for the greater good. Melisandre might be doing what she's doing because she thinks it's for the greater good. But Stannis barely even believes in her religion. He's just using it as a mechanism for power. Stannis marched on Blackwater. He brought his ships into the bay, even though he knew that thousands were going to die. So I'm just saying that he's not doing this for the greater good. He's doing it for power.
I think it's instead of. I agree with you that he's not doing it for the greater good. I think a lot of his motivation is that he truly believes that he is the one that is best suited to lead. Not just that he has the right to lead. I think he has such a strong. I don't know if it's sense of self. Maybe that's the wrong way to put it. I think he honestly believes he's the only one that can lead the Seven Kingdoms, with given all the other contenders that were there for the throne at the time. I think it's Will in horrible ways.
He'd made a great Green Lantern.
Well played, sir.
Don't you think it's Will? Right? He's got tremendous willpower. I mean,
oh yeah,
to a fault, I would say.
He's another Sinestro in waiting. You know?
Yeah, more Sinestro, I guess, than
who did start as a Green Lantern, the greatest Green Lantern. So
there you go. There you go. That's who he is.
Well played,
Sinestro.
And he fell to evil. Like Tyrion.
Wayne, you got any other good theories?
Well, I was going to say, I chalked that look up to more just inconsistencies in characters that I've seen increasingly over the last season.
Isn't there a prophecy though?
Just calling it
like in the prophecy that Tyrion will like ride dragons and burn shit down?
I mean, well, in the book, Mokorl is this red priest guy that's not in the show. He says to Tyrion, I see you in my flames, and I see dragons old and young and true and false. And I see you in the midst of it snarling, a small man who casts a big shadow. So what that says to me is that I don't know if Tyrion is a Targaryen, but he is in the midst of this kind of like great kind of war of big guys, but he has tremendous influence and tremendous reach. So,
which is what we're seeing play out.
Yeah, I think he's going to end up being the clutch villain.
Perhaps.
How can you think? How can you think that and think that I'm wrong about him sitting on the throne?
Because everybody fucking hates Joffrey, and Joffrey's dead. His body is deteriorated.
No, Tyrion.
Tyrion. Start because her body was in water.
John's not the only person who thinks that Tyrion's going to be the last guy standing.
Yeah, probably the first.
I've heard that before.
John says that Joffrey is going to be the last guy standing.
I say both. One or the other, Joffrey or Tyrion. Aren't you paying attention, yo, Flash? Come on.
You can't just change your person like midstream, dude.
I don't think you've been paying attention. I'm well documented before you were coming in here that it would either be.
I wasn't paying attention before I came in, John. I was having margaritas at the bar before I came in.
It was going to be Joffrey on the throne after a long con, or it's going to be Tyrion at the end of this show.
I don't know.
I think Tyrion. No, go ahead, Gwen.
I was gonna say I don't know if I see Tyrion on the throne. I just don't see that.
To be honest, I can't put anything past George Martin.
I'd call it a 5% chance.
How can you guys say that when you're talking about prophecies of him flying on dragons at the end?
Well, I'm saying he could be the clutch villain at the end. Like, I'm saying he could come in and be the main dude at the end of the shit. Like, I'm not saying, like, you know, he could come in and be the hero. I'm saying
I'm not saying a hero. I'm saying he's manipulating everyone from day one, and he's going to get himself on the throne. He's totally a villain.
So George R.R. Martin one time at this convention or reading one time, and someone like recorded this, and it's on YouTube somewhere. I saw it a while ago. He basically let it slip by accident, I think, and like a lot of people like don't even notice it when he says it. He let it slip that he says Tyrion eventually loses his wit, his tongue. So basically implying that eventually at some point in the books, Tyrion gets his tongue cut out, which if you've read these books, you totally understand why that would happen, because he's like totally like in the book, he's not quite to Daenerys yet, and he's like in this kind of fucked up situation. And you could see like how him saying the wrong thing to the wrong person would get his tongue out. And he's also in the East where like dwarves, I mean, so you have to understand that like the show kind of like skips over like the vagabond Tyrion. Tyrion goes to the East and like he no longer has the Lannister name. He has literally no respect. He is a dwarf with no nose, with eyes that are different colors, that's like hunched over, and he's like very, very fucking ugly. So he can, if he's in the East, says the wrong thing to some nobleman, his tongue comes out. I don't see him being king after that. I don't see him sitting in the throne.
Yeah,
he can write letters.
And also at the end in A Dance with Dragons, Tyrion totally like signs over all of the Lannister fortune. He signs it all over to the Golden Company, so that happens. But we haven't seen the results of how that plays out.
Oh, I forgot about that too. Yeah. Wow.
John is silent.
What? No, I don't see how any. I don't think any of this is any proof that Tyrion will not be king. You can be king without a tongue. He can write notes.
I don't know.
I think the mountain zombie will.
I apologized in advance for John.
You guys are going to be so wrong, so wrong. I'm going to come back, say, John, we're sorry.
I don't think he'll lose his tongue in the show. That'd be a great travesty.
Oh, and to be clear, I am talking about the show, not the book. So what I don't know what's going to go on with the books, but the show, I think Tyrion is going to get it.
In the show, I think he's probably going to die.
The outline of the show will be the same as the books.
I don't.
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's been firmly established that the outline of the show and the books are the same. Now, the middle, right, the chunks will be a little different. Say. Yeah, but the ending and how we get there is going to be the same in the show and the books.
I have serious reservations. I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah, I just want.
I just don't see how it could. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, we're not going to see Tyrion be the winner, and in the show, it's going to be different. I mean, I think we're going to see the same general outcome, right? Like in the books and the show. Maybe not like to a T, but I think the general outcome, the synopsis.
Well, we're talking on the throne. End of the show, who's going to be the king?
I think the book and the show will be the same.
That's the thing. I feel like like Game of Thrones, it's like a misnomer calling it Game of Thrones. Because the first book is just called A Game of Thrones, and the series is A Song of Ice and Fire. So that automatically implies that it's all about the throne. But then, if you remember way back in like season 2, when Daenerys is in the House of the Undying, she is in King's Landing. She is in the throne room, and it's totally destroyed. So that implies that King's Landing might not even be around. So why are we focusing on like who sits the throne? The throne might not even be there by the end of this.
It's gonna be on Dragonstone.
Yeah.
I think Game of Thrones is a better name than Fire and Ice.
A Song of Ice and Fire. But see, that's what does that mean to you? A Song of Ice and Fire.
Well, that's the prophecy.
Well, it's more than just a prophecy. It is definitely, it's a reference to a poem where it says the world will be destroyed in either ice or fire. And then also on a deeper level, it's representative of so many different things. Like the others are literally living ice, like ice becoming life. And then the dragons are literally fire becoming flesh. And so when you think about a song, the word song doesn't imply a great battle. A song implies kind of a joining or like a harmony. So George R.R. Martin often says that like he is against war, and that war usually results to nothing and it ends in like nobody really wins anything. So like the implication here is that the ultimate goal is a balance between the forces. This is why the seasons are off, because like it's like there is a great imbalance in nature and it needs to be corrected. And that's, I think, is a central theme that is in these books, and that's why it's called A Song of Ice and Fire.
Kind of like the Force, huh?
Kind of like, yeah, something like that.
I like the way you think about it, man. I'm more into the show that I like. My wife, man, she got me into this whole thing, and like I watched the show. She's all into the books and stuff, you know. So I can tell you're deeply into the books, man. It's like talking to my fucking wife, man. She's all into the books and shit, dude. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. Well, so anything else? Any other weird theories or suspicions about who may or may not survive the rest of the journey? I know they said that major or key players are going to die.
What do you think about Sansa? What do you think Sansa's going to play out as? That's an interesting story, even in the books and in the show. I think
that's the first one.
Well, she's kind of become a messed up chick.
I know. I just couldn't.
The show Sansa merged with. So talking to my wife, like the show and the book Sansa are different, because I guess like the book Sansa was like pretending to be Sansa. Yeah, in the show they just kind of made her the book version.
Yeah, that was like one of those weird butterflies that George always talks about, like how you change one little thing in the first book, and then you're like, up a creek by the fourth book.
Yeah, like what happened was they merged the Sansa character with Jane Westerling for like one season.
I thought it was Jane Poole.
Yeah, Jane. I don't know why I said Jane Westerling. Jane Poole, you're right. But for like one season, yeah, they did that, and then they kind of went back to the regular Sansa, I think, because like the plot in the book is that Peter Baelish is trying to set her up as queen in the North, and he's gonna have her marry. Can't remember who it is, but like that's that whole plot. And then in the
I thought in the book he had the fakes. No, wait, shoot, that's not right. He's got a fake Arya.
Fake Arya, yeah, that's who Sansa gets merged with in the show. Like Sansa is basically that character because she's marrying Ramsay Bolton, getting raped and all that stuff.
Yeah, in the show she's pregnant with Ramsay's kid.
You think so?
It's highly implied. I'm not sure, but it's highly implied. Like the way he went out and was like, I'm a part of you, and she's kind of rubbing her belly.
I think she'd definitely be looking for Moon Tea.
We won't know until the season starts, right? But like that's what it looked like to me. I can't say. It looked like she was pregnant because he's like, I'll always be a part of you.
What a creep.
Yeah. I like that actor, man. That dude did a knockout job for sure.
No offense to John, but I didn't think anybody could ever beat Joffrey as the character we would hate the most.
Oh yeah, he didn't.
But boy, he made Joffrey look like a
He was a young man that was put into a big situation, and he did the best he could with what he had.
Look, man, I'll tell you what, man, an actor that can just sit down and you just hate them, like fuck that dude. You know, like that is an actor, the actress, whatever, man. Like you just sit there and I just don't like that motherfucker. And you just see them like that's some solid skill, man.
Well, I think Ben's got to take off. Ben Avery.
See you, Ben.
Thanks. Nice to meet you all. Quinn, I could listen to you forever, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, that was
Nice to meet you.
I can see why your channel has that many viewers, man.
Quinn, I don't know if you know Ben. Ben and I worked on the Hedge Knight, the Sworn Sword, and the Mystery Knight together for various publishers. So we're the team that did those.
Five different publishers that were involved.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So all right, Ben.
Nice to meet you all. And yeah, I'm just glad Yellow Flash said that John had the worst theory of everybody, and I didn't even have a theory. So I mean, I'm feeling good. Like I wasn't the worst. So.
John will forever go down as the worst.
We're going to put you on Team Joffrey, Ben. Don't worry about it.
You don't want to be on Team Joffrey, man. That's going to go down as the laughing stock.
I'm Team Brienne. So, all right. See you guys.
Peace out, man.
Later.
Hey, the dude with the huge 100,000 subs. What's your name again?
Quinn.
My name is Quinn.
Hey,
Yes.
Quinn, what do you because you got the Enterprise in the back. What do you think of that whole Picard show, real quick?
I'm curious to see where they go with it. I'm hoping that Brett Spiner comes back and does the voice of the computer.
I heard that they're gonna. Was it some big YouTuber was talking about that he had an insider say that it was going to be the alternate timeline.
If they do that, I'll be so pissed.
Oh, so man, I'm so with you. I'll be so mad.
Yeah, I'll be very upset.
I haven't even heard of this. What are you talking about? There's going to be a Picard show?
Patrick Stewart is coming back to play Picard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the rumor is that it's going to be the J. Abrams timeline, so it'll be a totally new Picard, which
that doesn't
really
make any
piss off
sense.
me and a lot of people that were big fans of the original show.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like they already kind of like failed with. For me, they failed with Discovery. I couldn't get into it, but
that show's shit.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
I just got to say that was just such a great visual with Yellow Flash popping up on my screen just a moment, just long enough to say that show is shit.
It's so bad though.
It was so entertaining. Thank you.
It doesn't even line up with the canon. Like they do these weird like wormhole warps or something. It doesn't even make sense. And the Klingons are different. Like what?
It bothered me so much, just the look of everything. And then I kept saying this could all be fixed if they just put this in the future. Like if this was in the future, it wouldn't matter if the technology was different because we could see like the evolution of the technology. But since it's
and bring back the entire old cast.
Oh, they're too old now.
Yeah, they're ancient.
No,
but Next Generation is in the future from Star Trek anyways. So
well, yeah, but they'd all be promoted by now, man. Do you think Worf's still going to be a lieutenant commander at Tactical?
No, bring Riker in. Bring Riker in as an admiral. Come on.
No. I mean, back to the point. Even regardless, I mean, you'd be so far away from the event horizon of the alteration of the past. What difference would it make? You'd be.
I don't want to see that though, man. That's such a slap in the face to the 9 seasons I own on Blu-ray.
No. What if they're saying then that the entire Next Generation series, because it was in the future from that, was already in the alternate universe?
That would fucking piss me the fuck off.
Yeah, I gotta agree with
and it doesn't make any sense.
I don't want to see that.
The reason that it doesn't make any sense because in the first Next Generation movie, Generations, Picard meets up with fucking William Shatner.
Right.
That's
Not
him
canon.
from the fucking television universe. Because
Not canon.
Yeah. So how?
I like that movie too. Actually.
None of those movies count.
Yeah,
I
but
like Generation.
Get out of here, John. Stop.
I like First Contact too.
it's still the original Kirk. It's not just because it changed actors, it doesn't make him a different Kirk.
No. That's the new movies. We're talking about Generations.
Oh, I know, but that's what I'm saying. He goes back and he does.
It is a different Kirk because he has a totally different backstory in the other canon.
Oh,
they totally changed.
His
Like
dad
everything
dies.
is different. Like their technology is even different. Like it's like I don't know.
Advanced.
Yeah.
yeah. They have these great toupees.
Yeah, because I feel like when his dad died, it like fundamentally changed like the nature of that reality. So like from that point on, who even knows if Picard is even gonna be born? You know what I'm saying? Like it's the butterfly effect.
Someone
I do like the Abrams
Whiskey
Star
in the
Trek
chat
movies.
said he just subbed to you, Quinn.
Wait, what happened?
I like the Abrams Star Trek movies. I think they're fun. They're nothing serious.
I do too. I like them.
They're fun. Yeah.
I like the first one, but I the second one I don't know, they were doing too much about this isn't Khan, and you know.
Well, you know what? When I saw that, I don't dig too much into movies and spoilers, so I never saw that coming. Like I didn't follow it, so it was a surprise to me. But I think piggybacking off of that I consider the Wrath of Khan like an American classic. I think anybody, even if you're not a Star Trek lover, could sit down and like enjoy the Wrath of Khan. I think it transcends the fandom because it's so good.
I've never taken this out of the box.
Wow.
I should someday, but it gets all dusty. The box got dusty, so there it is on the side.
Much better in the box. I have the original series, the Blu-ray, man. They remastered it. Looks so good. Looks so good.
We'll do
Yeah, Wrath of Khan is the best movie.
Yeah, that movie is a movie that's so good it transcends fandom.
Mike, you gonna
That's the
take
way
that
I
out
like
of
to
the
put
bottle? You gonna take that out of the bottle, Mike?
I have not cracked this open yet. I'm waiting to get Bill Shatner to sign it. For those, I'm gonna engage in a shameless plug here. My sister company just started a officially licensed Star Trek spirits.
Ooh,
And this is
James T. Kirk.
James T. Kirk, straight bourbon whiskey. I designed the label and everything for this, and
Nice.
that's actually That's actually Captain Kirk's autograph by Gene Roddenberry.
Michael, because you're advertising on my show for free, you have to send me a bottle of that.
I might be able to do that.
Can you send me a bottle of that too?
We've done this one. We've done a 10 Forward vodka, and there's more coming. Anyway, Michael to show off his Captain Kirk. I had to one up.
You get a plug for that on Quinn's show. You owe him a case.
Oh, we can do that. Nail is on the slate of ones to make. So anyway, yeah, there we go. Thanks, guys.
I do have a bottle of Romulan ale.
Oh, that's cool.
Illegal.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's only the best for me. I'm the bad boy of the group.
Romulan ale is illegal in the Federation, John.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
I have some of the that liquor from V. Oh wait, that's just bad milk.
Was it like the Luke Skywalker milk?
In V, they would drink this bad milk as alcohol. It was like,
Do you know where Ethan he changed his thing? He's got like stormtroopers doing like the badunkadunk and stuff. Like, where does he find these?
I have no idea. YouTube.
Like they're doing like what's that shit where you shake your ass and it jiggles? What's that called?
Work.
Yeah, they got like stormtroopers like twerking in his video. Like, where does he find this?
I've actually seen that one.
Have you seen it? And then he's got Darth Vader twerking. Like, where does he find this stuff?
Got a lot of time.
Hires people to do it.
Yeah. The better question is who's making it.
Disney, I would imagine, at some show.
Well, hey guys, it's been a good little while. This has been the inaugural episode of the Night's Watch. Quinn, I would love for you to be a regular on here if you're around.
Sure.
Or I'll just hit you with whenever I figure out. I want to do it once or twice a week. Just talk Game of Thrones.
Are you going to do it on Fridays, Mike?
Fridays might be cool.
Maybe on Fridays I can jump in most of the Fridays. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, I appreciate everyone. Everybody go through one at a time. Give your contact info so people can sub to you. John?
John Malin. You can find me at John Malin on Twitter, John Malin on YouTube. I have an Indiegogo called Graveyard Shift. If you're interested in checking it out, please do.
It's X-Men with Monsters Universe.
Yeah, they're universal monsters if they were the X-Men. So
Michael?
MichaelChampion.net. I think I've got links over on the left-hand side, right-hand side, one of the sides to all the social media. And I'm also going to be out at New York Comic-Con with the company.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there too.
I'll be at booth 2569, so come check out the Star Trek liquors, everything else we got, as well as the cool movie props and collectibles, and I'll be doing sketches.
Right on.
When is New York Comic Con?
It's
in like a week.
Oh shit!
It's October 4th.
Next year, maybe.
Isn't that 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah, hotel room, man. I can't swing that right now.
Yeah. All right, Quinn.
Ideas of Ice and Fire, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah.
Awesome. Flash.
Yellow Flash Comics, Yellow Flash Productions, my 2 channels.
And this is Blacklist Universe. You're watching The Night's Watch. I am Mike S. Miller, your host. Please do like and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. And check out my Indiegogo, Lone Star Heart of the Hero is what it's called. You can also just go to lonestarcomic.com, check that out. And Valar Morghulis.
Follow the Horus. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bottoms up.
Peace.